Hello. So yesterday I came in for my, what is it? I think it's the interview after my code test for my services, and seems that they're pretty like they my initial thought about them was correct. It's a very nice company with some really nice guys, and they have this like they're a fairly stable like startup with a partnership with some of the major banks here in Sweden, which is, that's pretty good because like I'm one of those I'm one of those people who would like to I go into things with an open mind always, but when it comes to job stability, I'd like to see that the job is going to be there for at least a year, because it's I'm going to tell you something that is sad but true, and that is that your CV does actually matter, and no, it's not going to be the most determining factor in a hiring process, but it is part of your screening process. So if you have a lot of very short jobs or things of that nature, it can actually be damaging to your chances to get a job. So think like if you have like a few jobs, or if you've been if you have nothing else, of course, but like if you're like me and you finally got to a place where you have a few longer hires, it's probably better for you to try to focus on the ones that you had that are longer, because it looks, to some people it looks weird, like they're going to ask questions about, okay, why did you only work 6 months here or 4 months or whatever. And for the most part, people assume, I don't know why they do that, but they assume that you got fired or that you're a liability. Because trust me when I say that when you're looking for a job, this is the case almost always in business, and even more so the bigger the company. It is that they don't take risks in the way that I would define a risk. They are looking to see the future. That's in essence what we're trying to do. Now, this is very true also for development. The way that Ticketmaster is trying to see the future is through A/B testing, MBT testing. They have all these different tests, which I think is so hilarious. It's so funny, because the one test that Ticketmaster never does, ever, I think a single time, we've done it almost a single time, maybe a few, like a handful of times at most, is user testing. So they're willing to put in like a lot of money into figuring out, okay, we built this thing here, let's put it on the page and do A/B testing. For those who don't know what A/B testing is, it's basically the idea that you create two different versions of a feature, and then you try it out on different people and see what the results are, so you can compare the two. And they do that a lot. However, they don't actually, at the design level, send out a few concepts to our focus groups and ask them, which one do you like the most, or do that type of testing, which in my opinion probably is going to be more effective, because who knows what they want more than the users. That's the way that I think about it. And it brings me to what I'm trying to say for this episode of mine, and that is that don't assume that you know what your users are looking for. My argument is that it's better for you to make something very small and it might even feel stupid to you, and maybe it feels stupid to your users as well. And you have to kind of swallow your pride, because remember, you don't want to find yourself in a situation where you're trying to build something that you can be proud of on the first go. And this sounds really counterintuitive, but see, the problem is that very often you mistake value provided to the user for your own mental picture of what the user is looking for. Think about it like this. It's if I am I used to be this way. I used to be the person who was trying to build the most mind-blowing, amazing thing every single time. And let's say that you come to me and you are my customer and you want me to design the next best thing. You want me to build a super system, like in regular terms of skyscraper. You want me to build a skyscraper. And I start fiddling around. I mean, this is a big project, and I try to build it as nicely as I can, like this super monstrosity of a system, and I deliver it. Odds are that I'm going to make some assumptions around along the way. But if I hit it fairly accurately, you're going to be happy with it because you wanted that type of investment. But if you came to me and said, you want this small, tiny web page, or you want me to design a cabin, then I have to change my mindset. Because if I deliver a skyscraper to you when you're trying to, you want to build a cabin, do you see what I'm saying? Like, I am overshooting the requirements. I'm building more than you're asking for, and it's not going to provide you value. Even in really bad situations, it might actually decrease your trust in me and how much you appreciate the product that I'm delivering. So, and that's pretty important. That's why you do these user tests, where in my opinion, that's why you want to make sure that you build the smallest thing you can, and then you ask the question very, very easily, what is missing here? You ask your users, what are you missing? And for the most part, if you ask that question, they're going to tell you what's missing. And then and maybe even look a bit funny at you, because to them it's so obvious what you should be building. And think about it, what did you lose? You didn't lose anything. However, if you assumed a lot of stuff and you ask the same question, then maybe you'll get the answer, oh no, I don't think anything is missing. The problem is that you don't know if you could have saved in on time and features. Maybe you built too much. How would you know? The idea is to think of it as a glass that you're filling with water, but you don't know how big the glass is. So what's going to be your approach? Are you going to pour in an entire barrel of water? No. You're going to take a small pitcher, fill it up a little bit, and check, are we at the top? Fill it a little bit, are we at the top? And keep on going until you hit the very top of the glass. That's the mentality that you should be using when you're developing features. It's because the goal is not to build the best and biggest super thing every single time. It's about building the perfect thing for the requirements that you're trying to fulfill.